Oh, and a double reset. All right, they're definitely going now, right?
Here we go. Yep, definitely.
They're off. All right, so right away, we'll see what kind of strategies they're using. London B going for the safe and sound power-up pickup in 1-1, while it looks like Tecate is going to be going for a little bit riskier of a power-up pickup. Do you think he's just going for the speed of 1-3-1-4, or do you think we're going to see small fire?
I actually haven't seen Tecate play as small fire before, so he's definitely going to be picking up power-ups in 1-3 and 1-4. While London is going to pick up the Fire Flower at the start of 1-2.
Yeah. I definitely respect the race strats of the 1-1-1-2 because, as we'll see on the left side, if Tecate is running through 1-2 small, there are some very, very tough jumps to make. Like this one right there.
Oh, no.
He ended up running straight into that Koopa. That's exactly the spot that I was talking about. That is very, very tough to do small. So he's got a little bit of ground to make up right away here, but there he makes the tricky jump that time. He might go for some pipe jumps here and everything. Looks like he's taking those a little bit more safely. But there you go. I mean, 1-2. 1-2 is like, what's the word? Like on the down low is like one of the hardest levels in the game. If you're playing it small.
It's definitely a gatekeeper early on, especially that Koopa Goomba section. But he managed to get it on the second time through. But although he is at a deficit right now, he has to power up in 1-3 and 1-4 while London's just cruising through at the moment.
Yep. This early on in the game, of course, it is like any mistake that you can make at this point in the game is going to punish you the least, pretty much, compared to some of the stuff that we see later. So it's not that big of a lead that London B has early on, but it is an early lead. And so we'll see how London takes out his Bowser here, while Tecate also is cruising in, and we'll see how good his power-up grab is. Oh, so much happening at once. Whoa, okay, London B gets the excellent slide under the Bowser, get him from behind, while Tecate gets an excellent power-up grab, and we get to see his Bowser here now as well. Opening shots. Beautiful, very similar performance there.
Yes, same exact pattern practically.
Yeah. All right, and now we're on to World 2, where there's lots of potential for just little bumps and accidental slowdowns around here. There is one particular jump that I've noticed people pressing left on that I never did, and I think maybe I should adopt that.
It does make it a little easier to avoid the bonk in that platform, so...
Yeah, and that said, if you're not totally familiar with Super Mario Bros., there is just an odd way to the way that this game does the end of its levels, where it only checks every 21 frames whether it should pass you on to the next level, which essentially means that you have a bus to catch, which also means that you, in certain levels, can lose a few frames without actually losing a few frames. So if something is just a little bit safer and it's one of those levels, you should do it.
Oh, no!
The old choke point in 2-2, that is honestly, some people might say that 2-2 is actually more difficult than 7-2, and the reason would be that exact choke point right there that London just took a hit on.
That was a very ugly pattern as well, like the Cheeps and the bloopers were just crowding that area.
Yeah, so 2-2 and 7-2 are both essentially the same level with different enemy placement. 7-2 is known for that nasty blooper at the very end of it, but 2-2 has a worse choke point, I think.
Yeah, all right. So now we're going to see, I'm pretty sure London's going to grab the mushroom in this stage, and then he'll power up with fire in 2-4. Well, Tecate, on the other hand, he's going to be pretty comfortable moving forward here, as long as he doesn't get any troll cheeps.
Yes, he had a 310 on the timer at the end of his 2-2, meaning that was a perfect 2-2 for him. So as far as that early lead that London B took, it looks like Tecate should get most of that back now.
Yeah, although like London can still get fire back and he can still go for a Bowser kill, the lead will be significantly shorter.
Yeah, that is true. All right, so we'll see his power-up grab there. Good. And there, now that London is all fired back up, he is back in business. Oh my! Takes another hit to a nasty fireball from Bowser there. Because yeah, it looked like he was taking the elevators just a little bit more slowly, and then that.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what happened there. Maybe he didn't get like a good lineup for the platforms to go for the jumps, but Bowser's fire was just at a very bad spot, so it wasn't really much he could do to avoid it.
Yeah, and that's one of those really rough, almost like paradoxical things that you can find in speedrunning, where it might seem safer to slow down for elevators, but at some point you start to get so consistent with it that it's actually less safe to take a slower strat for exactly a reason like that.
Nice turnaround there by Tecate, avoiding the Koopa.
Yeah, and with that, Tecate actually takes the lead here.
Yep, just a very tiny lead right now, but it's anybody's game at this point, still early on.
Yep. Yeah, super, super exciting to see a race that swings back and forth.
Yeah, it's actually really more exciting when it's close as well.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the caliber of these two runners, like anything can happen. But we can only hope for a really exciting race between the two. And it's pretty good so far. Like, these two haven't been... Like, despite the early death from Tecate earlier, but he seems to be back into his groove of things.
Yep, and both players make it through 3-2 without any trouble. That level is, like, sneakily pretty tough as well, just because of the enemy spawning so close to the edges, where it's so easy to land on the Goombas or Koopas and bounce into pits.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of just landing behind them to jump.
Yeah, there was actually a strat in 3-2 that we didn't really mention. I think we saw Tecate go for it, but he shot like a few enemies towards the second half of the stage, and that actually despawns a Goomba or two.
Yeah, there's a really easy setup for it where as long as you've been playing the level optimally, you shoot your fireballs when the music goes da-da-da on the high spot. And if you shoot fireballs with those, you'll hit just the right enemies without getting any lag frames also to spawn the last Goomba in front of the staircase to give you an easier jump.
All right, Tecate getting through with both of them getting a 258 in the castle. Like, they both took it pretty safe on the Podoboo section.
Yep, absolutely. Lots of thank Goofies in the chat. Is he the one who discovered the 320 fireball strat?
He's been doing the 3-2 fireball strat for a long time. So, and Tecate always says thank you, Goofy, during his runs. So
interesting. Okay.
Definitely a thing.
It was something that I saw Flex Retro developing himself. However, he was doing it not with the music, just like knowing which enemies to shoot, but it was causing lag frames here and there because he wasn't doing it at that specific time.
Right.
And then yeah, I figured out watching the GT Aces world record is where I saw it at first, where it's you shoot it at that time. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for 4-2. Who's bottom
top route?
Top. Let's see, Tecate. Oh, I don't even know what that was from Tecate. It looked like he started to go high.
I believe his A input dropped when he was trying to go for the jump.
Yeah, looked like it. Meanwhile, London, committed to the bottom route, is flying through. Not quite enough to swing the lead back over, but that was interesting.
Well, we got the double bottom route. That's pretty nice to see.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we got 4-3 coming up, which has a specific frame rule called the Sky Boots, where as long as you don't slow down in the level and you don't push left at all, which Tecate actually did, so he may not get the Sky Boots frame rule, you will see a pixel of sky underneath Mario's boot, and you'll be able to get the extra frame rule that way. But I think London also turned left a little bit there. So neither of the runners will get the Sky Boots frame rule, but still good, though.
Yeah, and again, the significance of that is that happens to be a level where if you can save that one frame, it actually gets you on the next bus, which means you actually save 21 frames from that. Just a very odd thing about how this game works, but it comes into play a lot. Whenever you hear us say frame rule, that's what we're talking about. All right, old 4-4 Bowser, one of the scariest ones. Tecate had to back up a little bit because the Bowser was walking up on him, and both runners through again, and it's even closer now. They are almost perfectly in sync.
This is so good. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited to see the outcome of this. And we're at the halfway point, folks.
Yes. The dead winter of the Mushroom Kingdom.
also known as the worst world in the game.
Yes, I was just about to say World 5 is where it really dials up as far as the speedrun safety goes. This world, like 5-1, not too tough, but 2, 3, and 4 are all run killers.
Yeah, so we will find out right here if the bullet's going to shoot for either of these guys. Okay, Tecate did take it safe, assuming that the bullet will shoot, while London actually had a bullet shot. But...
Yeah, London took a little bit of a fast, safe strat as well. If you go at full speed at that point, you're at the mercy of that cannon of whether it just wants to shoot you or not. But both runners had their own nice, slower way to handle it. And Tecate had a really interesting end of 5-2 there. I have not seen someone jump early to bop the Koopa to land on the stairs that way before. That was cool.
Yeah, Hidari P and I started to do that strat as well. So I originally learned it from Hidari P.
Interesting.
It's a pretty neat strat. It's like, I feel like it's more safer than trying to jump at the very edge of that platform, but either way will work just fine. I just feel like, you know,
that freaked me out a bit. So London shot the Goomba that you canonically bop, but he must have done something else to the enemies because he still got the platform spawn.
Oh man, I totally missed that.
Yeah, he must have hit like an earlier Koopa or something. I almost wanna check out the replay of that and see what that is, because that might be a more consistent strat. Who knows?
All right, we're seeing the Royal Good Bar strat here from both players. Very nicely done.
And London taking it a little slow through the Bowser fireballs and Potaboos with very good reason. I think the approach to Bowser is the actual hardest part of the game to not actually get hit at.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult to get up to that Bowser without getting shot. All right, and another little breather in 6-1. If you manage to not get hit in World 5, as both of these runners managed to do, this level is a bit of a breather that you can just run through and shoot a few fireballs. It can oftentimes be a level where it's a little tricky to collect a couple power-ups, though, as you find yourself doing all the time.
Normally 6-1 would be like the power-up grab area in case people lose fire in 5-4.
Yep, and there are 2 power-ups in the level. They're just not the fastest power-ups to grab in the world, and also Lakitu is throwing Spinies at you, so it can be pretty unsafe. All right, and 6-2, again, speaking of just how nice it is to have fire, this level is absolutely crazy with all of its piranha plants, and takes a long time to really get the right route through it. Everyone kind of has their own little personalized route through the level. There's lots of different ways to go about it, but you gotta have a good one, and that's one of the rare levels that actually ends on a bad timer if you do it completely optimally. One thing we haven't talked about is fireworks, because neither of the runners have been unfortunate enough to get fireworks yet, but those are actually not random. They happen if your timer ends on a 3 or a 6. You get 3 or 6 fireworks. And that level will end on a 3 if you do it optimally, so you have to slow down somewhere, which I think is part of why there's so much variance in the strategies.
Yeah, also you get fireworks if you get a 1 at the end of the timer, but it doesn't really lose any time, so you'll kind of notice them like getting like a 1 at the end of the timer, but it's not going to cost anything. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Tecate did the good bar strat for 6-4, ended up getting hit while London pulled it off. If you jump under that Potaboo, it allows you to then get good bars for the rest of the castle. However, it is very, very tricky to pull off. So you will see a lot of runners slow down there.
I think they're exactly in sync right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they are. Oh, that is beautiful. Tecate does have to pick up a couple power-ups if he chooses. So that'll break the sync pretty quickly, but wow, coming into World 7 right in sync is something special.
Hammer Bro.
Yes, 7-1 also, I should mention, taking that power-up. The mushroom at the beginning of 7-1 is pretty slow to grab. However, I really, really agree with taking the time to pick it up, because the Hammer Bros in 7-1 are just so nasty.
Yeah, so he decided to forego the second power-up in 7-1, so he'll be playing through... I'm assuming he's going to be playing through the rest of World 7 small, unless he decides to pick the mushroom in 7-3, but
And I agree with that as well, because getting through 7-2 big, I feel like taking the time to collect a power-up to get through 7-2 big is a lot to ask. It can be a little bit easier to just swim through small. At this point also, the fire kill on Bowser time save does not really matter very much anymore since there's only one Bowser left. So if you can handle small strats, it might actually be faster for you. It is pretty unsafe for a race, though.
Oh, we got the bad blooper here. While London pretty much handled 7-2 really well.
All right. So there we see kind of the opposite of what happened in 2-2, where London B got hit and had to slow down a bit, while Tecate got through perfectly. We saw kind of the reverse of that there in the mirror level. And then 7-3, the mirror of 2-3, where the sea life is jumping right out at us, except now there's Koopas in the way. And the real tricky thing about the Koopas is the fact that the Cheeps can turn them around if they give them kisses as they come up. And it can be just an absolute nightmare.
Ooh, Tecate tried to go for the flagpole glitch there.
Yeah, it looked like it.
See, London did a bit of a turn back just to avoid the Podoboo at the start.
Yep, so...
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh, and Tecate jumped right over that Podoboo. So 7-4, also a little bit of a breather. The jumps can be kind of tricky if you're going to save every single frame. But overall, it's one of the easier castles, the kind of calm before the storm of World 8. And now we get to see the big difference in World 8 of whether you can keep your power-ups, because there weren't any power-ups in 7-4, and there's only one in 7-3, so you can't get fired back up by this point if you get hit in 7-2. And now you kind of see side by side the result of that, where it's a lot more manageable to do all of the safety strats with firepower in 8-1, while safety strats with Small Mario take a few slowdowns. Yeah, anyone who's watched any percent knows that you don't have to slow down in 8-1 if you're small, but you are heavily advised to in a race.
Yeah, because there are no checkpoints at World 8 whatsoever, so if you were to take a death like at any point in the level, it'll take you right back to the start.
Yep. Yeah, longest levels in the game, also with no checkpoints. So 197 is really good. Speaking of having to slow down for small strats, 197 on the timer is barely slowing down at all. That's only 3 Mario seconds behind what's optimal, and Mario seconds are a lot shorter than seconds.
I think we're gonna see the Xerox FBBBB strat here in 8-2 from Tecate.
Let's find out. You'll have to call it out.
I keep on forgetting like which order is which, but
yeah,
someone in chat can probably tell me on that, like what the
he
strat
definitely
is
got the either the bop or the boing at the end. I'm not totally sure.
Isn't it like bonk, brush, boing, bounce? I believe.
I think so.
If Xerox is in the chat, I mean, he's the one that came up with it, so.
Alright, so London B makes short work of the level, just shooting all the bros, while Tecate doing a fantastic job getting through small. Beautiful. He nails the level small. So Tecate is really going all out with the small strats, as I was kind of talking about, I think is kind of best at that point when you're in World 7 and you don't have power. You might as well go small for the rest of the run for speed. And as we see now, they're both in 8-4, and so Tecate is going as fast as he can, and basically is hoping for London B to make some kind of mistake here. Almost got hit by a cheap there on the turnaround room. London B did.
Yeah, London actually did miss the wall jump there, while Tecate actually got it, but it's still very close here. Anything can happen. We'll see.
Ooh. Beautiful water section from London. It can be really difficult to get through the water section.
Gets a Lotoboo, but it doesn't matter. London B with the finish.
Yeah, it looked like 1941 on the splits, but it was a SRL time of 1955. And then GG to Tecate right afterward with 2018 on the SRL time. That seems like maybe a pretty late split, though, because he's got 1951 on his splits.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. But still, sub-20s from both racers. Very fun to watch, but it was really close throughout the entire thing, and it could have been anybody's game.
Yeah, super close race. Absolute pleasure to watch. Double sub-20, always super exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can get an interview from any of these gentlemen.
Yep, and what that means is London B is going to go on to face the winner of Goofy Chocobo versus Marek. And let's see where Tecate ends up here.
Hello.
So he'll be playing against Dreamies. Hey, Tecate.
Hey.
Hey, GG on your race. I'm sure it wasn't really the result you were expecting, but still very nicely played.
I was actually what I was expecting. Really happy with that race. All I can say is my finger whiffed the A button in 1-2, and that's pretty much the only way I'm going to die on that jump is if I whiff the A button. And for most of you don't know, or most of you do know, I should say, that I play on keyboard, so it's a little easier for me to miss the A button on a keyboard than it is on a controller. So I whiffed the button and I was already behind. 6-4, I got hit by the Potaboo. I literally got the lowest possible Potaboo. It was just bad luck. Nothing I could do about that. That's the way I play 6-4 all the time. Just duck jump under that first Potaboo, and unfortunately, it happened to be the lowest possible Potaboo. I had no idea where London was, so I didn't know how aggressive I needed to take World 8. I figured if I just play my game, it'll kind of just shake out how it shakes out, and I guess we were close enough. If I had maybe played an aggressive World 8, it could have been really close, but that's the way it goes. So I'm really happy with that race.
Yeah, you two weren't very far off at all, actually. Like, I think it pretty much got separated until 7-1 happened when you went for the first power-up grab. And then, fortunately, you had that hammer bro in the way, and that's pretty much where London took the advantage there. But also, like I noticed in 4-2, I think you tried to go for the top row, but I'm assuming your A button got eaten again.
Yeah, I guess I just shorted the jump or pressed A like a frame earlier or something. But I mean, it was a quick recovery. I think I only lost like a second and a half, like 4 frame rules or something. So not too much of a big deal. But yeah, I'm definitely not a bottom route guy, but I made sure to learn the bottom route in case something like that happened. And so I recovered pretty well. I think I lost like maybe 4 frame rules, a second and a half or something. But yeah, I mean, aside from that death in 1-2 and then that really unlucky Potaboo in 6-4, you know, I mean, I think I played a run that I would have been really happy with. It may not have been like PP pace or anything, but you know, it would have been a 19-1x or 19-2x run outside of those 2 mistakes, which is totally fine by me. I also want to say GG's to London. Really, really great race to put up a 19 SRL time, 1945. I don't know what his his timer time was, but that's awesome. So no shame in losing to the defending champion. So GG's to London, and maybe I'll see him later in the tournament. I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not everyone can put up as good of a race against him as you did, so it was an absolute pleasure to watch.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, now let's just go create havoc in the next round.
That's right. And so that's next round coming up. But speaking of this round, we actually have another race coming up very, very soon. We have a double doozy at 11 p.m. Eastern, so just a half hour from now. We've got 50% Gaming versus Royal at the same time as I'm Dangerous is up against Alden. With me and my brother Flex commentating, so that should be super fun, and I hope you guys stay tuned for that.
Yeah, also, I guess looking at the bracket here, Tecate, your next matchup is going to be against Dreamies. How do you feel about that matchup coming up?
I'm looking forward to playing Dreamies. He's a good buddy of mine. He's a mod in my channel, and I in his. So we're just gonna have a lot of fun. I think that'll be a fun match to face one of my friends. So, you know, these are races. Anything can happen. I know Dreamies is the seed underdog and the PB underdog and all that, but I'm very prone to making mistakes. It can happen, and you know, Jeremy's is a good racer, so I just want to. I'm happy that I'll be facing one of my friends here. So, looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're definitely going to be looking forward to that as well. And as for London B, he will be moving on to face the winner of Goofy Chocobo and Merrick. Actually, is that race scheduled already? Like, when I don't have anything open already.
It is, yeah. That one's gonna be.
It's tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 1 p.m.
All right, so yeah, stay tuned for that, folks. But in the meantime, yeah, this is a very fun race to watch. Again, GG Tecate on a very great race. You kept it real close to London B.
Yeah, I guess maybe next time I should have the other runners stream open or something, because I may have foregone that 7-1 power up or played World 8 more aggressive. So lessons learned. I kind of just wanted to play my, you know, honestly, that death in 1-2 really calmed me down. I said, let's just play every level like it's an individual level and not worry about speed or anything like that, and just focus on. I was actually really, really calm after I died there. So you know, I was a little bit nervous, and once I died, I just kind of calmed down. It was weird.
That's actually a pretty good point you brought up, because 1-2 can be that one gatekeeper early on, and of course, you know, it's not really good to die there, but you know, afterwards you kind of get that weight off your shoulders, and you can be like, oh, I can just play the rest of the game the way I feel comfortable playing it. So that's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks Tecate for the race. Thanks Supersonic for joining me on commentary.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks guys, and GG's again to London. So really, really well done.
All right, and we'll see you guys over on regular speed gaming for our next race in about 25 minutes. See you there.
See ya.